Lord of the Rings MMO video game coming from Amazon Games. Amazon Games announces new Lord of the Rings MMORPG. Lord of the Rings MMO coming from New World developer Amazon Games. Amazon is making a Lord of the Rings MMO. Yeah, Amazon Game Studios, the people that announced the Lord of the Rings MMO a few years ago, and then canceled the Lord of the Rings MMO a few years ago, which I believe we all covered at the time, has announced a new Lord of the Rings MMO that is following the same direction as the old MMO Lord of the Rings Online, and we're all excited for it again. Yeah! So from the looks of it, Amazon Game Studios is working with the Embracer Group. The Embracer Group are the people behind the New World MMO, which has been, admittedly, over the course of its first 6 months, was an absolute monolithic clusterfuck of issues. And over the year or so it's existed, has really become quite a decent MMO. But at the same time, it never recovered from all of the issues that it suffered and never really won back player trust and never really grew as a direct result of their sheer and utter incompetence. But maybe they've learned from their mistakes and they are now developing an entirely new MMO with all of the experience that they have obtained. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt here. The new game, created in partnership with Embracer Group, will be set in Middle-earth. Shocking, I know. And featured the stories of The Hobbit and more, like The Hobbit, like the movie trilogy? Okay. Amazon Games and Embracer Group, through its wholly owned subsidiary Middle-earth Enterprises, that is original, part of the operative group Free Mode, announced today that they have reached an agreement for Amazon Games to develop and publish a new, massively multiplayer online game based on the works of J.R.R. Tolkien, slated for release in 2047. The upcoming game will be an open-world MMO adventure in a persistent world set in Middle-earth, featuring the beloved stories of The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings literary trilogy. Oh, so they're actually adapting the Hobbit movies and the Lord of the Rings movie. Well, I mean, it says literary trilogy, so maybe they're basing it off of the books. I never read the books. If there were books, I watched the movies. I'm a movie guy. So I'm going to assume they're going to adapt a semblance of the movies, or the movies, if the movies are accurate representations of the books, which could be really cool. But then I wonder if they're going to then create original content after that, and how players are going to receive that content. Given New World, I don't mean to offend any New World fans here, doesn't really have all that much of a narrative. The game is in early stages of production with the Amazon Games Orange County studio, makers of the popular open world MMO game New World, leading development. And given that New World was in active development for roughly a decade, it's gonna take roughly a decade for us to get this. Amazon Games will publish the game globally for PC and consoles. Additional details, including launch timing, will be, naturally it'll be shared at a later date. It says here that it is in the early stages of production. This game is so far off, none of us are going to remember it even exists by the time it's actually ready. And hopefully Ashes of Creation will be closing in on its first global closed beta test. We're committed to bringing players high quality. We're committed to bringing players high-quality games, whether through original IPs or long-beloved ones like the Lord of the Rings, said Christoph Hartmann, vice president of Amazon Games. Bringing players a fresh take on the Lord of the Rings has long been an aspiration for our team, and we're honored and grateful that Middle-earth Enterprises is entrusting us with this iconic world. We're also pleased to be expanding our relationship with Embracer Group following our Tomb Raider deal last year, as they've proven to be excellent collaborators. Dude, they're in charge of the new Tomb Raider games now too. Okay, I don't want to jump on the censorship train here, but everyone knows Amazon Game Studios are a little bit trigger happy when it comes to censoring games. Not excessive censorship, but everything has been censored to a degree, to an extent. And Lara Croft has been traditionally known to have fairly large assets. Before we go any further, I just want to take a moment here to thank all of our incredible patrons. You guys allow me to continue to play games like this for a living, and I can never truly repay that kindness. Also, if you're interested, I stream over on Twitch every single weekend. You should totally come on over and join me. The world of Middle-earth continues to prove an endlessly fertile ground for creators, and Amazon Games has a passion for building immersive, compelling worlds and publishing games for a global audience. If there's one statement that is true in all of this, it is that Amazon Game Studios do publish games. You know what? Not even globally. They always restrict the game from so many different regions. Whenever I mention that New World or Lost Ark or even Blue Protocol or Throne and Liberty are coming globally, and people look at the list of regions that are IP blocked, people immediately say that's not global. So we have the clear ambition to create the highest quality entertainment products for this IP, whether we utilize internal resources or team up with the best industry partners that complement our capabilities. We're taking every care to deliver an MMO which will do justice to the expansive Middle-earth universe and delight players around the world. The as yet untitled The Lord of the Rings game continues Amazon Games' growing momentum in game publishing and development, following the success of its internally developed MMO New World and action RPG Lost Ark from Smilegate RPG, which they were the developer of. I know it doesn't list that they're the publisher of, sorry. I know it doesn't list that they're the publisher here. It lists that they developed New World and Lost Ark, but they just developed one, just for reference here. Amazon has also announced publishing agreements with NCSoft for Throne and Liberty, Bandai Namco Online for Blue Protocol, Crystal Dynamics for the next major Tomb Raider game, and Glowmade and Disruptive Games for unannounced titles. Separately, Amazon Studios produces the hit series The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Like, was a Rings of Power a hit series? I recall ratings on Rotten Tomatoes not being that high. See, they say it was a hit series based off of critics. Critics are always drastically different from the actual audience reviews, the actual audience ratings, the people that actually watch and care about the shows. So I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a hit TV series, which takes place during Tolkien's second age of Middle-earth and is unrelated to this upcoming MMO gaming development with Amazon Games. But I mean, eventually, you know, they might interconnect somehow. Now, I'm excited for their new Lord of the Rings MMO game. I'm excited for literally any MMO. I love the Lord of the Rings. I love the Hobbit movies. I think this has a lot of potential. I just don't know if Amazon Game Studios and the New World studio are necessarily the way to go about bringing their vision to life. But I mean, we'll see over time. Maybe the studio has learned a lot over the course of their time developing and maintaining New World. They have had a couple years now. Now, if the Lord of the Rings MMO does not look like something you're interested in, absolutely no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now that might be of more interest to you. One featuring a list of every MMO coming out this month. The other featuring another MMO that is unrelated to the Lord of the Rings Online that is also coming out this year.